Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I'm back with another review. This time I saw Excision. This is a 2012, just a second, horror comedy film directed by Richard Bates Jr., and it stars Annalyn McCord, Tracy Lords, Ariel Winter, Roger Bart, Jeremy Sumpter, John Waters, Marlee Matlin, Matthew Gray Gubler, Ray Wise, and Malcolm McDowell. In this film, alienated teen Pauline struggles with the pressures of fitting into high school, pleasing her mother, and a burning desire to lose her virginity. With a grotesque curiosity for the darker side of life, Pauline is considered a social outcast by everyone around her. Enticed by flesh, she retreats into her own fantasies and hopes to become a great surgeon. That is, if she doesn't go insane first. So, what did I think of Excision? Well, it's not that I don't think something like this could be done well. It's that this film right here is using that just as an excuse to be as edgy as it possibly can be. And it's one of those movies where you'll say, oh, I found it boring, or I didn't like that it was trying to be too edgy. People will say you missed the point. I didn't miss the point. I got the point. I just didn't like the film. There are things I like about it, but I didn't like the film overall. But let me get to the cast. Annalyn McCord plays Pauline. She's, again, a social outcast. Her parents are overbearing, at least her mom is. I've seen her in a few things. I haven't really seen a lot of the stuff she's starred in, but from what I can gather, people seem to be kind of iffy about her, and I think she's fine here. There's a lot of people saying that she's amazing in this. Good for you. I don't see it. I think a big part of the issue is the direction and how unlikable her character is when we're supposed to like her and sympathize with her. Also, this is gonna be a bit of a spoiler review. I will be spoiling how it ends because I have to talk about it and what annoys the shit out of me about it. But yeah, she's an okay enough actress in this, but she really comes off very one note in a lot of scenes. Tracy Lords plays Phyllis, her mother. She's an overbearing Christian mother, so you know how they're going to play this. She's not a good person at all. She's the worst person ever, apparently. They write her so unrealistically, it hurts. I'm tired of every single movie about, like, girls growing up treating Christian parents as if they don't know what the fuck they're supposed to do. It's really demeaning, if anything. As someone who's a Christian, like, I'm very pissed off by it. But Tracy Lords is the best actor in this film. Yes, I said it. Tracy Lords gives the best performance. A former porn actress. This is the woman who got a fake birth certificate and got into the porn industry at 16. And then, after it was found out, a lot of people got arrested and put up on child porn charges. So, somebody with that kind of history, you wouldn't expect to get into a movie for their acting, but her acting here is really fucking good. And I can't believe I'm ever saying this, because there are pros in this movie, in the acting industry. But yeah, she plays the role well. She gets across the right emotions, even if I don't like what they're doing with this character. She does a good job, for sure. A great job, even. Ariel Winter plays Grace. She's the sister of Pauline. She's like her one joy in this world. I like Ariel Winter. I think she's fine here. She doesn't have a lot to do, I guess, even though she's a big focal point to the story. Roger Bart plays Bob. He's there. I like Roger Bart. He's been the best part of quite a few movies I've seen. He was in wasn't he in, I could have yeah, he's in Hostel Part 2. But yeah, I like him as an actor. He's fine here, but he just doesn't get much to do. Jeremy Sumpter plays Adam. This is the guy that our main character loses her virginity to. He was in the Peter Pan from 2003. He was in Frailty, a fantastic film, by the way. Into the Storm. Cyber Seduction, the Lifetime movie. Yeah, he's fine here. John Waters plays Reverend William, somebody who's basically giving therapy sessions to our main character. He's there because this is the kind of movie he'd be in. I'll talk about that. Malcolm McDowell plays Mr. Cooper. He's a teacher. He's there. He's playing a teacher. He doesn't have anything to do. Matthew Gray Gubler, again, plays another teacher. Ray Wise plays the principal. He's there. And Marlee Matlin plays Amber, who is a random character that appears in a couple scenes. I like Marlee Matlin. She plays a deaf woman. There you go. She's fine. Here's the thing with this movie. I get what it's going for. If anybody wants to say you didn't like it because you didn't get it, or because you weren't paying attention, I did pay attention. I wish this was as well done as Ginger Snaps, because this is a very similar concept. Because you have a girl exploring sexuality, and she's 18, so I don't feel as weird talking about this than with a movie where it's an underage character. And anyway, Anna Lynn McCord was like 26 when filming this, so I think what doesn't work about this and what does work about Ginger Snaps is that, first off, Ginger Snaps is a lot better written. This film has the same type of writing that films like Poor Things, films like Killing of a Sacred Deer, a lot of A24 films do, where characters don't act like humans. And from scene to scene, characters don't act like they should. Like, there will be scenes where the mother character in this will say, like, I cannot love that child. She is unlovable. I can't bring myself to love her. You go from that scene to the next scene where she's talking about, maybe I've been too harsh on you. And it doesn't feel like I'm on planet fucking Earth. And I just don't, like, here's another thing. It just doesn't work for me, because I don't buy that these are human characters. They don't react like humans. You also have a main character, the main character of, the fuck is her name? Pauline. The main character of Pauline is so unlikable. Now, I can see what they're trying to do here. They want you to think that the main character is okay doing all of this and is perfect because her family, or at least her mother, is a uber Christian, because movies have demonized Christianity for quite a fucking while now. As if they even know what Christianity is, but whatever. But here's the thing. I didn't like the main character. She's constantly starting shit. She's constantly starting issues. Like, is it a little petty that the mom, like, kind of picks at every single bad thing she does? Yes. But by pushing it further, you're only going to create more problems for yourself. Like, she's, like, chewing with her mouth open at the dinner table, and I'm like, that's just fucking rude. Don't do that. That's gross. But I'm supposed to feel bad for her because she's ugly, and I'll get to that. And has trouble making friends. Like, I'm supposed to feel bad for her even though she's a complete bitch a lot of the time. And like on the casting of Annalyn McCord. I know I'm going everywhere. It's hard to talk about this fucking movie. On the topic of Annalyn McCord, they did a good enough job of making her look like an outcast. They actually did a good job of trying to make this character ugly for this role, because for this role you need someone who is not great looking, and you choose someone like Annalyn McCord, but you make her up in a way where she looks like someone you'd actually go to high school with, the weird girl. And then in the dream sequences, it looks like actual Annalyn McCord, who is gorgeous. So I think that was actually an interesting way to go about it, because there's a lot of movies that, even though I like this movie more, Tamara, when you have the character in her ugly phase before she dies and then gets resurrected and is gorgeous, played by Jenna Dewan, she's still very pretty at the beginning. So, at least this movie did that right. I can at least give it that. It didn't do the, oh, we took a hot girl and put glasses on her to make her look nerdy. They didn't do that. I can at least give this director that credit, because that is kind of a hard thing to do with a lot of actors. But then again, I don't care about this character. And to be honest, this movie tries to also kind of demonize psychology, or psychiatry. Like, yeah, there's things to dog on with psychiatry, but the mother, for the most part, is like, yeah, I want to help you get help. Like, the entire thing is that, the whole thing is her wanting to get her daughter help. And the daughter is on purpose not giving into the help. And I'm like, why? Why is this where the film's going? Why can't we just have a character who's... Like, you can have a character like this that's not a complete bitch, who, like, has a couple issues, like, clearly, but you give us this, like, massive 0 to 100 where it's like, oh, maybe she's just a little disturbed, maybe something happened, maybe she was molested, or there's, like, some dark backstory that you could go into and have some cool, great acting moments. No, she has dreams of... Like, she has psychosexual dreams where she's having sex or something sexual is happening and there's blood involved or gore. There's a scene later on where she's having sex with the guy and she on purpose, this is what the film does, because she's fucked in the head, she on purpose waits until she's on her period. I know this is kind of disgusting, but that's what this movie is. Sorry. She waits until she's on her period. We get a close-up of her pulling out the tampon and then it going into the trash, and she even smells it. Thank you, movie. And... oh god, just the scene overall just did not need to be in the movie. Like, they make this character so fucking unlikable, and I know some people might be like, oh, she's not supposed to be likable, but her main goal is, like, even though maybe not executed the best, I'm like, oh, that would make her likable, but all of the stuff leading up to the ending just makes me fucking hate this character. She literally, like, basically guilt trips this guy into being her first. They have sex. He comments on how wet she is. And she tells him, like, as she's writing him, it, like, cuts between that and there being, like, blood everywhere. I guess that's supposed to be subtext for her on her period. Ooh. How edgy. There's hidden subtext, guys. That means it's a good movie. And then she tells him to go down on her, and then he has blood on his face, and then they basically never talk again. That seems not in the movie. And even after that, there's a dream sequence bit where she's like praying to God and talking about, like, I don't need condoms. I'm on birth control, and I don't like, I'm not gonna like get an abortion. So, and I hear God's not for abortions or whatever. And then you see her dream self, which is just normal Annalyn McCord, pulling a baby, like a fetus, which whatever. I'm not gonna get into a debate on fetus or baby. She pulls a fetus out of herself, hands it to someone, and they put it in an oven, turn it on, and you see it explode. I don't want to know what this film's trying to say there, because that right there sounds like it's making very much light of abortion. Now, I might be reading too much into this, but this is a movie that many people will say you're supposed to read into it because you have to read into it to get the subtext. And yeah, just this movie, like, I was like, oh, maybe I'll like getting into this director's movies, but now I feel like never watching another movie from I do want to give some praise to this film in certain areas. I'm not going to talk about the ending just yet. The style. This film has a lot of style. I like the style. Sometimes. The dream sequences, while they just feel very out of place and they don't feel like they fit a lot of the time, they come out of fucking nowhere a lot of the time. They're well done gore effects wise. The blood and everything looks pretty good. Whenever there's gore in any way, it looks good. It's practical. I can 100% give credit to that because a lot of movies forget that nowadays, even low budget movies like this one. And this movie doesn't look low budget. It looks very well made. Even with all of the actors that are in this that are pretty well known names, Ray Wise, Malcolm McDowell, Tracy Lords is decently well known. The film clearly didn't spend all of the budget. The people didn't spend all the budget on the actors, which I like. It actually looks like a well-made film. The freaking... Again, Tracy Lords. Tracy Lords is really great in this. She kills it. She's the best character. She's the best acted character in the entire film. I just wish I cared more for anybody in the story. But other than that, this film is kind of a big fucking bust. But I do want to talk about the ending. So, again, spoilers. This is a spoiler review. It's in the title. At the very end, it's very rushed. At the very end, this is an only 81-minute movie, and it's about 76 minutes without the credits. It's very rushed in certain ways. It's also, another thing about this movie, it is insanely boring in many parts. There are many parts of this film where nothing is happening, and there's a lot of filler dialogue. But she gets the idea to knock out her dad with something, they don't say what it is, in his tea that she makes for him. And she basically knocks out the jump rope girl that, like, spray painted their house saying that she was a slut. And she does it to her sister and basically operates on her sister, giving the jump rope girl's lung to her sister. And then the mom walks in, sees that everything is fucked up, and basically, our main character says, I finally, like, this has all been an attempt for her to, like, show her mom that she's not a disappointment, that she can actually do something. She wanted to save her sister, who was, like, the one person she feels cares about her. And then they hold each other, they embrace in each other's arms, crying. Tracy Lord screams, and then it cuts to credits. So you don't even know if the sister lived or if she died. Now, I hate endings like this, especially for this movie, where you could have had this like character journey, you know. You know what's called an ending to a plot line, instead of leaving it open for the... I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I hate the type of people that I'm not a fan of the type of people who love these types of endings, because you can never win a debate with them. You can never win a debate on something that doesn't have an answer. Like, oh, did the sister live? Did she save her and that's why she's crying? And is she going to explain that to the mom? No. For some reason, she doesn't act like a fucking human being. Now, I'm going to say most likely not, because she didn't have a lot of the proper equipment. I'm going to say most likely she didn't save her, but then again, that just makes it feel more depressing. Even if she did, I feel like the film would just say it, but I'm not going to debate this with people because there's no answer. I don't even think the director knows. The director seems like one of those people that loves not finishing his own films. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the ending. Also, this is listed as a horror comedy. There is no fucking comedy in this. None. So I really... Yeah, on Letterboxd it says drama horror. That makes more sense. But yeah, I just really do not like this film. Like, again, it has the idea. The idea could have been cool, but it really didn't stick it. And yeah, I was just mostly left disappointed. So, that's my review of Excision. If you've seen the film, let me know what your thoughts are down below. If you have any recommendations, put them down there as well. And movie reviewer next door.